Hello, friend. Good morning to all of you. I am TC Hoyer, Assistant Professor, Department of English, late Pushpadevi Patil Arts Science College, Riso. Today, through this slide, we are going to study a literary terms. And the first term that is presented in this present slide is ekphrastic poem. So we know there are different types of poem, as we know: lyric, elegy, ballad, satire, epic, ode, idyll. These are the types of poems. So ekphrastic poem is also one of them. Ekphrastic poem do not have a specific, what we can say, form, but it had some peculiar features, and so that it is called as ekphrastic poem. See, an ekphrastic poem is a poem wherein the poet provides an elaborate and vivid description of a scene from history or a work of art. See, so what is the definition of ekphrastic poem? One thing, writer gives a picture, we can say a scene, and that is vivid. We can observe that, we can feel that such kind of scene, and that scene is always from history or art. Art means a painting and whatnot, so such kind of art. So what is ekphrastic poem? Ekphrastic poem is a poem wherein the poet provides an elaborate and vivid description of a scene from history or a work of art. Ekphrastic poems usually focus on works of art such as paintings or statues. Such as means it focuses on art, on paintings and statues. The intention behind such poems is not simply to describe but to expand the meaning or significance of the subject. What is the intention of this poem? This poem has only one intention, and that is to present the meaning or significance of the subject. Subject means it might be painting or it might be statues. So it present or expand that subject, describe that subject, it present the meaning, its significance into the present era of that art. So the subject, through the act of narrating it and reflecting on it. Through the act of narrating means telling a story of that art, of that statue, of that painting. See, a good example of this is Ode on a Grecian Urn by John Keats. Ode on a Grecian urn. We know in that ode, that urn, that pot is described, the pictures on that pot is presented by the writer John Keats in his poem. So John Keats, where the poet describes an ancient Grecian vase or urn, we can say in a simple word, a pot. So vase or urn, and speculate means introspection, chintan karni, mannan karni, speculates on the identity of the figures he sees on that vase and their possible actions and intentions. See, in that poem, there is a picture on one motta bhanda pot. On one pot, there is a picture. So, pot means a vase or urn. So, on that urn, there are pictures, and on that pictures, poet or speaker of that poem is thinking, introspecting, trying to identify them and trying to identify their motives, their intentions, their actions. So that is the ekphrastic poem, and the example of this ekphrastic poem is ode on a grecian urn, written by John Keats. He also observes musical instruments and muses about the melodies that were once played on them. Yes, musical instruments are also there with that picture. Another such poem is My Last Duchess. My Last Duchess is a statue. Is a statue. This poem is written by Robert Browning, a well-known Victorian poet. And in this poem, we have seen that the guest came there, and that this is Duke, who is the husband of that died death statue. She is dead now. Her statue is there in one gallery, and that her husband is telling all the features, all the traits of that lady to the imageries sent by the author. See, so My Last Duchess by Robert Browning, where the narrator, a duke, displays a portrait of his last duchess to a visitor and describes her features and personality to him, through which the portrait almost seems to come alive. Through which the portrait almost seems to come alive. So these are the example of ekphrastic poem. In the next poem means My Last Duchess, statue is there of that duchess, and on a grecian urn one pot is there, a historical pot that is presenting the history of contemporary, means that is the past ancient history, ancient Grecian history and Grecian culture. So always ekphrastic poem deals with the historical events and the art, and that is given presented through this these two poems. One is Ode on a Grecian Urn, and second is My Last Duchess. So this is the example of ekphrastic poem. Thank you.